Today I have an order to stitch names on makeup bags. Here is one that is finished. I've already done it. And inside of here, there is a pocket. So you want to make sure that when you're stitching, you want to make sure that you unzip it. And well, of course, you've got to unzip it. And when you mark your center, you want to mark your center on the side that is not the pocket. So I know exactly it's 8 inches. So I want to mark it at 8 inches. And I'm just going to mark it where the halfway mark is, only because I've already set the machine up to where it's going to go right in the center of this because of the alignment. Now, let me walk you over here to the machine as I'm trying to line it up right now. And the machine, it's on a clamp. So I have to first put it in here and line this up. And it's kind of, you got to work with the bag part that is tight because you want to get rid of all of this excess right there because you want it to sit smooth. So I have already figured out that this line, you've got 3 lines on this bag, and then you've got, if you pay attention to where your bar is going to clamp down, I know I need to be 3 lines in. And I try to get it straight by doing this, by making sure that it goes all the way into the bag. And then I line up the one first, and I make sure that I've got 3 lines sticking out. And this is not bulky back here. And then you got it all straight. Okay, so that's all straight. And then I'm going to put this clamp down first. So that one is down and it's in the place. And then you're going to come over to the other side and you're going to kind of pull it snugly as you can and getting that thick stuff back here to where it's not underneath the clamp, because then it'll throw your registration off a little bit. So these are a little challenging to use. I do have it stitching at its the slowest speed possible, because when you're using this clamp, sometimes it wants to jump. So because it's just the way it is. So I don't always use it, but in this situation, it was the best hoop that I could use. So I've got 3 over here, and I'm lined up, and I'm going to push this down back here. You saw that, okay? And then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm nice and even. I feel like this one is a little bit further in than the other is, but okay. So I got it all nice and straight. My lines are straight. The lines seem to be straightish. This one's straight. And then I'm going to take the pin out, and I have all of the names stacked up together on the machine. I'm trying this new method, and I put stops. It's all the same color, all the same bag, and I just put a stop in between. So the machine stops where it's supposed to be, and I'm on needle number 6, and it knows exactly where I'm supposed to go. So I'm going to push the button to start, and it's going to go find my place, and it'll start doing the next name. And the hardest part about doing this is using the hoop, trying to get, or not the hoop, but the clamp, to make sure that you get it clamped good and snug, and it's lined up. And I like I said, I have it on its slowest speed so it doesn't jump the registration. And I don't have any extra bags to work with. I have 10, and I'm going to stand here and I'm going to babysit these bags as I put them on and off. And they don't take very long to stitch out because there's not a lot of stitches in each name. But it is it's a challenge to try to keep them hooped and so forth. So once it's all done, and I digitize this to where it will continuously stitch. It will not stop and start from each letter. some fonts, especially that you use when you're using Embroidering, it stops and starts, and that's a time killer. And it just kind of wears your machine. The cutting, and then you have so many strings to have to cut. And I have this to where it's going to just do it for me, and just keep on stitching out, and I just don't even have to worry about it. The only thing I have to worry about is to stand here and make sure that the machine doesn't jump the registration, and if it does, I can stop it immediately. Anyway, this is stitching makeup bags and using a clamp. I have an Avance 1501C. I know that other machines out there, that the 15 needles, they have this style of clamp or just slightly different variation of the clamp. But the clamp is used for hard to hoop items, and this is definitely a hard to hoop item. And I'm glad I had this hoop to be able, or this clamp to be able to do these bags. And so it's on the last letter right now. It's got an E. And then we're done. And that's how quick and easy it is. I've spent most of my time digitizing the names and getting the setup done. It took longer to do that than it did anything else. So there's where my time went. And I'm like on my fourth bag already. I started probably about 15 minutes ago stitching. So that's the end of that one. And then you just come and you stops. That machine is stopped right there for the next name. And I will go and pop it off. And look how nice it looks. We'll zoom in, how nice it looks. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get another bag. I was trying to prep them all, and here's one I've already pinned. I've got it in the spot. You come back over here and put it on, do the exact same thing all over again, and I'll just do this until I get done. All right. You have a good one. Love the bags. They're so cute. They're very cute.